Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast. Love to hear from you. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, you can click the little red mic, which is the talkback mic, and leave us a message that way. And if you're listening, in other ways, that's okay too. You can always email us at murphysamandjodi.com or hit us up on our socials like Facebook.
Was so excited for the little nugget of entertainment news this week that Grey's Anatomy turned 20 this week. And it's like, oh, whoa. And it did. It debuted on March 27th, 2005. So this show is 20 years old. So we put it in The Outsider today, but here's what's more about it. It is the longest running medical TV drama in TV history. And medical dramas work, and they always will.
They always do. And they last forever.
They will, and they do work. Probably because there's so much storytelling there. There's excitement, and there's danger, and there's fear. And
How have they done 20 years without recycling, though, any sort of...
They probably recycle conditions.
Strip line or...
Right? How many heart patients have they seen? How many car accidents have they seen? Things like that. Things that happen in emergency rooms every day.
Didn't somebody go in with a pole through their torso one time? That was a tough one to watch.
Yeah, wasn't there a bus accident, too?
Okay, yes. Look, I have so much to say about this. I'm so glad we have the podcast. I did not miss that show when it came out, and we had a small child. Phoebe was born in 2005.
We didn't miss an episode.
I was at home with a little one and a 3-year-old running around, and when those sounds started, I did not miss an episode on Thursday nights. And then life got busy, and I stopped watching it somewhere around season 5 or 6, I think.
Yeah. And as usual, you got a little farther than me. When George was gone, that was pretty much it for me.
You talk about one of the most the day that I watched that episode and couldn't sleep that night, and I came in here the next morning and was telling Sam about it, and he was rolling his eyes. I knew that we had a real writer in Shonda Rhimes, because the way that whole episode was written, if you know about George.
Yeah.
Here's what's up, though, too. Fast forward several years down the road, when Taylor was our oldest, when she was in high school, she was like, I've always heard about this show. I said, don't just start watching it now. You need to start from the beginning. And she loved it. And she was binging it like crazy. Mm-hmm. And I came home one afternoon, and she was in the family room crying. And she was like, George!
No, I know.
And she, I think, stopped there. She was so upset.
Yeah.
You ever had that? You lose somebody on a show, and you're like, no more then. That was her.
She stopped the same place Murphy did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Mad.
I don't know that it was just that the killer for me. It kind of played its course. Look, it's a great show. Obviously, it wouldn't be still on after 20 years. But
what characters, if you know, are still on that started on the show?
I don't know the answer to that because I stopped. Yeah. But I'm excited about the reminder.
Meredith Gray's still on.
No, she's not.
Oh, that's right. She
exited. Now, she still narrates. You can still hear her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I learned to be a doctor. This is the place where I found my family.
In fact, in season 19 was when they slowly started pulling her out of, like, every other episode. She wouldn't be in the episode, but she still narrates it. And the thing about Ellen Pompeo, I have so much trivia for you on this. She was trying to make it in Hollywood. She had several, small roles in television, but what she really wanted was to be a movie actress, a movie star. She wanted to be in movies. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't really happening for her. And then she got offered this directly from Shonda Rhimes. She didn't even have to audition. It was like, I want you to be the lead here. I want you to be Meredith Grey. And apparently Ellen's told this story before. Her agent told her, look, just take it to make some money until the movie stuff comes along. These shows never last. Her agent told her that, and so she took it. And then 22 seasons later, or whatever, 20 years later, yeah. So she's an executive producer now too. So she's she's an executive producer of Grey's Anatomy. And Shonda Rhimes, there's so many things I can tell you. Probably Murphy's favorite character is Christina Yang.
What I said I didn't mean. You mean offering to trade Owen like a horse or a baseball card?
Crazy memorable character.
She is.
Played by Sandra Oh. And the backstory there is that Sandra Oh was originally asked to come in and audition for the role of Miranda Bailey Bailey, who
another one of my favorite characters.
Right. She's awesome, played by Chandra Wilson. She's won awards for her work as Bailey on Grey's Anatomy.
She was, I guess they all played parts in having comic relief every now and then, but Bailey's, to me, it was her quick quips, the snarkiness. Maybe that's why I like both her and Sandra Oh's characters, because they were both kind of snarky.
Very
and funny
no
and,
nonsense.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
right.
I like that.
The Sandra Oh thing is that they asked her to come in and audition for Bailey, but she said she was in a place in her life at that time when she was asking for what she wanted, and she saw, I guess they get several scenes, and she knew the Christina character, and she was like, this is who I want to be. I am Christina Yang. I'm not Bailey. And it worked out for Shonda Rhimes because she had once told Oprah in an interview, what I had imagined for Bailey was a petite little curly-headed blonde woman who looked really sweet but had a rough personality and could run things, making it kind of an unforgettable character. But when she auditioned Chandra Wilson, she realized, oh, okay, this is Bailey.
Yeah.
100%. So it proves to you also a writer can have an idea in their mind for something, but the audition process changes that.
The audition process probably changes that. I bet you table reads change that.
Sure.
You hear about rewrites and all those kind of things. Once you go from the concept to that's why you always hear about, rewrites to get it correct. But yeah, she nailed it with those two characters. And as an actress or actor, even though you would want to go in and say, hey, this is authentic to me, I can do this, it probably doesn't guarantee that that the director is going to agree with you.
Oh,
or
no.
The casting director is going to agree with you. But good for her for, knowing, hey, this is a role that I can
took a
portray.
Total chance in saying that. She could have just been sent away.
Yeah,
and never
exactly.
even asked back.
I haven't heard anything yet about McSteamy or McDreamy.
I know. I will tell you this. Sandra, I don't want to give it away, but Shonda Rhimes did say that, she's killed off some characters.
Yeah.
She's killed off some very, you can't believe what just happened. What? I have to let go. She said those were some of the hardest. For anybody who knows the show, you know that those guys are not really walking those halls anymore. What else? Denny Duquette. Remember that? That was the
romance thing. That was probably one of the earliest romances. That was the whole Izzy crossing the line, falling in love with a patient.
With a patient played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And what's not to fall in love with? Charming, very attractive. And again, Shonda Rhimes, the writers have it. It was her idea to write that one of the interns falls in love with a dying patient, although that intern was supposed to be Christina. That was how it originally was written. It was going to be Christina falling for him. And the chemistry wasn't there as much as it was with Katherine Heigl, who played Izzy. Yeah. The highly emotional Izzy. It made more sense because Christina's not a highly emotional person.
Right.
She's a machine.
Exactly.
So some cool background. The other backgrounds that we touched on today in the Hollywood Outsider, the original working titles, doctors, complications, surgeons, and then they thought, okay, Grey's Anatomy. That they used real organs. When they show the scenes that are hard to look at, Murphy, that you would turn, sometimes they use real cow organs.
Do they really?
Yeah. For blood scenes, often they'll use a mixture of gelatin and red dye because things have to look as real as possible. They do have medical consultants on the show for shooting scenes. There are doctors who have consulted that show for years about, well, in this situation, you wouldn't be doing this, or this would look more like this.
Yeah. Not that they try to make everything look that realistic, though, But all pretty extreme.
The word is, too, realize when they're in season and they're cranking out a new hour-long episode every week, they're there 20 hours a day. Because if you have to reshoot something, you have to have the show ready for Thursday night. It's still a Thursday night thing. So Grey's Anatomy, it's a good binge. I'm telling you, 20 years, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.